Good morning and welcome to the December meeting of the Sun City Computer Club. Please wear your masks and silence your cell phones. And yes, the lab will be open after this meeting. And our agenda for the day is our normal agenda. We'll start with financials, membership, club matters, classes, community matters, a favorite app, and a feature presentation. Starting with financials, we're in pretty good shape. $30,000 in the bank, $21,000 in reserves, $9,000 available. Our inventory continues to be at $73,000. And thanks to you, our Grafton Food Pantry contributions from your donut contributions at $552. Membership is steady at 1443. I understand we have 4 new members this morning. Next year's meetings will continue to be on the second Thursday of the month. Our January presentation will be by Carol DiFiore, and the topic will be My Funeral, My Way, What You Need to Know About Pre-Planning Your Funeral. A lot of computer work done in pre-planning. Lab hours will continue to be Monday and Thursday mornings from 9 to noon. Photography group is on hiatus until April. The Apple group meets on the first Tuesday of the month, but not in January. They'll be back in February. And yes, the lab will be closed for the week at the end of the month. Computer classes are free for members. Just show up, no reservations required. Classes will resume next month. We already have a dozen classes arranged for the first quarter. Look for the schedule in newsletters and in emails. Now we're looking for some input from members on how you use the lab. There's a 6-question survey coming out that will be in your inbox next Monday. The survey looks like this. Why did you visit the lab? Did you accomplish why you visited? What day did you visit? What additional days or hours would you like to see the lab open? Would you be willing to help at the lab? And what subjects would you like offered in future classes? The next board meeting for the association is on the 5th, and the annual community meeting is on the 26th. Coming up next week here, the Strutters and Prairie Voices have 2 shows on the 14th, and for those that are interested, there is a cash bar. Are you looking for a good time on New Year's Eve? Contact Jameson's. We've got a party going on here from 6:30 in the evening to 1 a.m. after you've gone to bed. Remember Dennis the Menace? Now, every month we try and share a favorite app. This month, the app is called TripAdvisor. It's a very useful search engine for making travel plans. Now, TripAdvisor is available on all platforms, be it iOS, Android, and as websites on the internet browsers for Mac and OS, for Windows and Mac OS. Multiple search options are available with links. And in this case, I've chosen Nashville as our destination for some examples. In TripAdvisor, one of the options is things to do. And it's a very broad topic with many possible searches. Click on a destination and get details including prices, website, maps, and reviews. And the same is true for our restaurant searches. The listing will come up showing cuisines and types of restaurants. You also get the website, pricing, and maps and reviews on the restaurants themselves. Today, well, Microsoft 11 is the newest Microsoft operating system. Today, our guest speaker is Todd Gordon from Microsoft. He's an experienced Microsoft engineer, and he's going to be giving us a live demonstration of Windows 11. And yes, he will answer questions at the end. Introducing Todd Gordon.
All right, thank you, David. So, yes, I'm Todd Gordon. Currently, my job at Microsoft is an account technology strategist. What that means is I have 10 customers. I'm responsible for providing what their vision is, what their strategy is, and basically how we can sell them more Microsoft products. So who I am, I've been in IT for 20 plus years. I started at a small bank in Itasca, I was the network administrator there. I spent the last 13 years prior to Microsoft at Navistar. I managed our collaboration teams, server teams. Most recently, I was the IT architect focusing on infrastructure and cloud technologies, all Microsoft based for the most part. Currently, I'm at Microsoft, been here since May. As I said, I'm an account technology strategist. I have many Microsoft certifications. As part of my onboarding, I got 8 of the fundamentals. So basically, I'm certified in anything Microsoft sells. So, quick agenda, what we're going to do. I'm going to go over what's new in Windows 11, how do you get it, what are some of the requirements, what happens if you don't meet the requirements and you still want it. I'm going to go over a little bit of security, using Microsoft Authenticator, which should be the app of the month, in my opinion. Windows Hello, OneDrive, and Teams. We'll just go a quick overview of how those integrate heavily into Windows 11. So I know David here, who introduced me, is not a Windows fan, but there's 1 billion people that love Windows. So someday he'll be 1,000,000,001. So just quick, Microsoft's mission, and this is why we build all the products, is to empower every person in every organization on the planet to achieve more. They're trying to make things as simple as possible. We want everyone to be able to do more with what you currently have. So with that, this is the official technical requirements of Windows 11, and I'm not going to go into great details of this. The basics are the processor, and the RAM, and the TPM chip. Those are the 3 things that, if you're not going to meet requirements, it's going to be one of those. It's going to be your processors not new enough or fast enough, you don't have enough RAM, or for most people, for older computers, it's what's called the TPM, or a Trusted Platform Module chip, which is a security chip, is not at the newest 2.0 version. And the reason Microsoft did that is to enforce a lot of security built into the operating system. Once again, I have a laptop over there that did not meet 2 of these requirements, and I still have Windows 11 on it. So we'll go into how to do that. When you do it, Microsoft's going to give you a big warning. Don't do this. You're risking your life. It's fine. They just want to let you know that you're in an unsupported configuration. So with that, I'm just going to go right into the demo. So I do have links. We'll send this out afterwards about all the stuff that we're going to talk about. So I'll give you those in a second. So the first thing, you've probably seen this picture many times, the Windows 11 background. This is my corporate PC, so some of the things are locked down, some of the things are not, but this is what it looks like. The biggest thing you're going to notice is the Start menu. Start menu is now in the middle. It's going to show you, it's going to recommend some things. It's going to look at files that I just quickly opened. It's going to have pinned applications. All your other apps are under All Apps, just like they normally were. if you want one of these to be pinned, I'm not going to pick access because that's horrible. So say I want maps, I can just right click on this, I can pin it to the start, it's going to show up there, or I can go down here to more and pin it to the taskbar, and it's going to just show up. Just pin it to the taskbar just to show you. And now it's going to show up here, and it's going to be here at all times. So that's the big thing on the task, on how you find things. The next thing is the search. So as you can see, I don't have hardly any icons on my screen at all. I don't look for anything. I just type in the search. I can search for anything. I can search for files, folders, applications. You can see here, as you search, it actually shows apps, documents, and it's going to look and see what I've recently done on this machine. Websites, more. You can search in email, music. Very comprehensive search. So if you're searching for anything, let's just search for Windows 11. Here's the presentation I have. Here's a couple other presentations that I've had. Very quick, very accurate. I don't have any apps, I don't think, that have Windows 11, but if there were, you would see them in here. So search, very important to people that, if you don't see your icon or you don't know where it is, use the search. All right, so the next thing is, I mentioned earlier, security is a big topic and a big reason that for Windows 11. So let's just type Windows security. So the Windows security settings, we're going to go through many of these here, are just going to show you, go back, the many things that are built into the operating system. So many of you, I know Dave mentioned, are using Defender. Defender's built in, it works great. Not a lot you need to do to update anything. Go here. Here's your scan options. It'll show you it scans 3 minutes, 197,000 files. I can just click here and do a quick scan. You can come in here and do a more detailed scan. Okay, no problem. So you can do a quick scan, a full scan. Obviously, this is going to take probably an hour, hour and a half. I would only recommend doing this if you have something that might have gone wrong, or you just want to check something slowing down. They also have what's called now a Defender offline scan. And what this is going to do, it's going to reboot your computer, and it's going to scan it before anything loads. And the reason it's doing this is some viruses and malware are hidden, and they don't show up a lot of times when your computer's running. So this will detect it and find it. Once again, this takes a little longer. It's probably going to take a half hour to run this. But at the same time, if you're having an issue, definitely something you should run. You can go through and click, what the history was. I don't have any. Microsoft locks down these computers pretty much, so there's not a lot that can get through on here. The account protection. So being a Microsoft corporate user, I utilize what's called Windows Hello. Windows Hello is a biometric system, and I'll just show you right now. We'll just lock my computer, and if I look at it, it's going to say, okay, you're Todd. I had to go through this setup. It takes some pictures of me. It knows who I am. So that's my password to log into my computer. I don't need to type it. That's what it is on my laptop. I do have a password for other things, but to log into my laptop, I don't need a password. I just use my face. Dynamic lock, this is something a little newer. I don't have this set up on here, but I have it on my personal laptop. So what dynamic lock does is if we click on this, you can add a device, Bluetooth device, cell phone. If you walk away and it does not detect that Bluetooth device, it will lock your machine. It's just another security feature on what you can do to protect your devices.
Todd?
Yep.
Could you let us know which are new features in Windows 11 and which are...
Sure. So the Defender stuff is the same other than the offline, that's new. The dynamic lock is new as well. So those things are just enhanced features for Windows 11.
Just so you know, the rest is available in Windows 10 already.
The rest are available in Windows 10. So Windows 11 is, compared to Windows 10, it's not a huge, in my opinion, earth-shattering change. It's a big change from a security side, but most people from a look and feel are not gonna notice a whole lot of difference. All right, so let's keep going here. Let me go back. Onto the account thing, let me go into that real fast. I mentioned I'm on my Microsoft account. What I would recommend people doing is when you log onto your computer, some of you are probably logged on with what they consider a local account. You can create a Microsoft account free at account.microsoft.com, and if you get a new computer, it's probably going to ask you to create one anyway. So this is my personal account. It's going to show you, here's all the devices that I have. The biggest thing that I'm going to talk about here, and this applies to all devices once again, is the security. So right here, well, this will bring this up too, I don't have a password for my personal account either. It's asking me to send notification, so it's opening on my phone a authenticator. I approve, and I'm logged in. So you don't need a password for your personal account either. You can see your sign-in activity. If you're worried about someone that has stolen your account or your credentials, you can see what's going on. We'll go into advanced security here. So once again, this is showing here's who I am. Here's how to send a notification. I have down here additional security, passwordless account turned on. You can't turn this off. I do not have currently on this account two-step verification. You can do a multi-factor authentication for this as well. On my corporate account, I have that. On this, I just have not turned that on yet. I feel the passwordless with my face is enough, but there are additional options as well. Once again, all this is free, and it can be utilized for not just your Windows device. If you have Xbox or any other services, it works all the same. So it's very easy just to get one ID and one password and use it across everything. So one of the newer features, we're going to go out of the security stuff real fast, is the layout. So, if you have a big screen or multiple screens, you're able to, put things from one side to the other. With Windows 11, when you click on the little bar up in the upper top, you'll see that you have options now that you can automatically split your screen in different ways. So I'm just going to do this one. I'm going to put it right here. I'm just going to ask what I want over here and what I want over here. So now I just have, separated my screen three ways just by clicking in basically the expand or the button. It'll automatically show you exactly what you need to do. So that's called Snap Layout. And once again, that's a new feature in Windows 11 itself. All right, close that. Next is what's called Virtual Desktop. This is a new feature. So Virtual Desktop, you'll see down here, is when you click on it, this is showing what I have running here. So if I click on Virtual Desktop 2, now this is going to blank the screen. This is basically a whole new session within my same session. It's almost like logging into another ID without actually logging into another ID. And people will say, well, why do you need this? Well, for someone like me, if I use my computer for both personal and work, I can have a desktop that is dedicated for work items, and then I can have a desktop that's dedicated for personal items. And all I have to do to switch between is click back and forth, and I'm back and forth. If you have grandkids or something come over and you don't want to create an ID for them on your computer, but you don't want them to see your stuff, create a new virtual desktop. They're on there, they don't see anything that you see, and you don't have to log out, create anything for them. It's very quick and easy to snap back and forth. They don't know they're on a virtual desktop, they just think they're on your computer. So it's a nice new feature. Well, it depends. If they're over 8, they'll find out. And they'll probably show you how to do it. So that's a nice new feature. Another new feature that I personally just found recently is the Photos app. So Microsoft Photos before, was just okay. Obviously, this is utilizing OneDrive for the storage. It can do many of the same things if anyone's using Google Photos to save all your photos or any of the other services. Microsoft can now do that as well. My OneDrive is currently offline, so it's not going to show anything. And this is my corporate, so I don't have any pictures in there. But it has the same features. You know, you can create collections, you can create albums. It does have the people finder, which is cool and creepy. Amazon has this, I believe Google has it as well, where it will go scan your pictures and try and find all the same people and group them together. Like I said, it's an option that you can do in here as well. It also now has a video editor. So what you can do is you can, you know, piece together some of your pictures. It will throw in music automatically. I think I created a test one here. I just actually took some pictures of my kids that I had, and I just all I did was pull them in and click go. I didn't do anything else. It created all this for me. You have the ability to edit it. Here's the storyboard down here. You can add titles. You can put how long the picture's on there. You can add text directly onto the photo. You can put motion in, 3D effects. So all this is now built into the Windows Photo app. So it's a nice new feature that, like I said, once again, this is utilizing OneDrive as your storage. So that's very important to know as well. The final thing is that some people may have noticed that's new for Windows 11 is called Widgets. So Widgets is right here. It's kind of weird to look at, but Widgets is basically anything like many of you Apple users. It's just the same thing that you could see on your home screen in Apple. You can customize it. You can pick what apps you have. I picked in here, you know, follow the bulls. So it's, you know, show me the latest bull score. This is looking at my calendar. This is looking at, you know, the stock price. Okay, apparently we're not doing good today. The weather. It obviously knows exactly where I'm at. You know, and do I have tasks to do as well. So once again, you can customize this. You can add your own. You can, you know, I can make this bigger. It's just another way that they're trying to put up front in your face any information that you need to know without actually having to go search for it. So once again, you want to know the weather, you want to know all this in one spot, just click on your widgets, and there you go. It's right there for you to know. There's a limited selection of widgets. You know, they're adding more every day, so some applications are going to start adding their own widgets. I believe Amazon's going to have a widget, which is good and bad. It can show you things in your watch list or wish list coming in the future as well. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is OneDrive. We talked about the files for the photos, and what that's using is OneDrive. And once again, this is my corporate, so it's going to look a little different than maybe some, but this is the general gist. You know, everyone knows what file storage is in the cloud. This is Microsoft's version of file storage in the cloud. The nice thing about this is when you look at the status on this, where you see the little cloud, that means it's actually the files are not on my computer. They're only in the cloud. This is just a pointer to them, so it's not taking up space on my computer. If I double click on them to open it, it will download it to my computer. But by default, it's not going to put anything on your computer unless you open it. So the ones that have a checkbox, that means they're downloaded, the file's on my computer. If I were on an airplane, I would be able to open that file, work on the file. When I'm done with the file, save it. Once I get back online, that file will upload the update to the cloud. The ones that have the little person next to it, that means that I shared it. So I shared it with someone, there's files shared in there, and the reason they do this is so that you don't accidentally put something in a folder that's shared with someone. You're like, oh, I forgot I shared that with everyone. So once again, and you can share folders individually, you can share a file individually. This folder is shared with a friend of mine. And it's very simple. All right from here, you just type the person's name. Once again, Microsoft account. It will share it, it'll send them a link. All they do is click on the link and they're going to open the file. Let me show you what it actually looks like on the web. Let's go to OneDrive. So on here, it's going to look very similar. Once again, all the files are obviously in the cloud, so you're not going to see the checkbox. You'll see your recent files, shared files, and my shared files will show you the files that have been shared with me. so that I know someone shared a file with me. Some of these I had no clue what they are. There's so many. You do have a recycle bin. You have approximately 14 days after something is deleted to undelete it. After that, you have another 14 days where it goes into a secondary recycle bin where Microsoft can retrieve it, and after that, it's gone. Depending on, Office 365, if you have an Office 365 account, you get 1 terabyte of files, so that's a lot of files. You shouldn't need to delete too much items. That's OneDrive. This works the same with Windows 11 and Windows 10. The new feature, last thing I'm going to talk about is Teams. So Teams is built into Windows 11 now. It is let me pull it up, chat and or video conferencing tool. It's similar to Zoom, whatever other tool you might have used. You can chat, once again, with anyone on here. You can share files. You can video chat. You can create video meetings. The meetings on here, I'm not sure what the limits on Zoom free are, but the limits on our meetings for free are 24 hours. So you can be on a meeting for 24 hours straight. If you're on for more than 24 hours straight, shut it off, start it back up. But there's no limit for the most part on meetings. Once again, type in anyone's email address. You need to know what they are. Microsoft account. You can invite them to Teams if they're not on Teams. You're going to send them this link. It's going to say, hey, come visit my Teams account. You can chat. This is not just a one-to-one chat as well. You can have group chats. Once again, you can share files as a group. You can utilize the computer club as a Teams thing. Just many options. Microsoft internally, Teams is the biggest way that we get work done. All of our files are in Teams. All of our communication is in Teams. We eliminate meetings by having Teams chats, team collaboration. So it's the biggest tool internally at Microsoft that we have. Once again, free video, free chat on that as well. That is all I have for new items and Windows 11 updates. Oh, actually, I lied. I do want to show you. I promised I would show you how to install Windows 11 if you did not meet the requirement. So this website, and once again, I have this in the PowerPoint. You'll get the link later. We'll show you if you have a processor that isn't right, or you don't have the TPM chip or whatever. The biggest thing you need to know is you need to install the Windows 11 from the ISO version. If you go onto Microsoft's website, it's going to tell you to download what's called the Windows Assistant, and that's going to go check your computer, and it's going to say you meet or you don't meet the requirements. If you meet the requirements, it will allow you to install it. If you don't, it's going to say here's why, and you'll never be able to install it from there. So you need to download the ISO, which is just the actual image file of Windows. Once you do that, it'll be on your computer. If you just right-click on it and click Mount, I'll have all these directions as well. It'll basically load like it's a CD on or DVD on your computer. You'll run it from there. But you also need to do one other thing. You need to create this, what they call a Registry Bypass, to enable you, so it basically is not going to check that. I'm not going to go into details of this. The directions are pretty self-explanatory. Just go in and click this one registry, basically to say don't check for the CPU, or don't check for the RAM, or don't check for the TPM chip. Once you run it, Microsoft still knows that doesn't meet requirements. When you run it, you're going to get a pop-up. It's going to say, your computer doesn't meet requirements. Are you sure you want to continue? Like I said, I have it on my personal laptop over here. It's been running for 3 weeks. There's been no issues. They claim that in the future they may not provide certain updates. I've never seen them not provide updates to anyone on certain things as well. Last thing, Windows 10 is still available. It's still supported. It's still supported until 2025. So there's no rush to get Windows 11 if you're not comfortable. Windows 10 is going to be supported. We're going to provide updates for at least the next 3.5, 4 years. So with that, I will take questions on anything you'd like to discuss Microsoft.
Wait for a mic.
One point, sorry. When Todd sends me the PowerPoint and the information, we'll do a special tech letter out to the club so that you all have this in case you didn't have a chance to write fast. Questions?
Yeah, Todd, I have a question here.
Yep.
You said that you have facial recognition on your computer.
Yes.
What if you wanted to put a second person on it? As it would be facial? Would it be a PIN or a
Either one.
password?
You can do facial, you can do PIN, you can do password, you can have all on your own account. And each account can have its own separate way to authenticate.
Okay, thanks.
Will this work on all versions of Windows 11, or is you're running the corporate one pro version
So the facial,
versus home?
so the facial version will work on any version. It does require certain hardware. Obviously, Microsoft hardware is all certified. There's more and more vendors that are certified. It's really the camera that needs to be certified. So all the Surface devices are certified, and there's many Dells now that are certified. So if you're looking for a computer or see if it's you'll know if it works because when you go to do it, it won't actually show up as an option to do Windows Hello because your device isn't certified for that. But if it is, you'll see it. And then it'll just bring up here, show you me your picture.
What's the main difference between the home version of Windows 11 and the pro version? You know?
It's not a lot. It's really more on the security and the update side. There's a little bit more advanced security that the home user honestly is not going to. It's really more for automation, for IT departments to be able to push updates to. Whereas in your home, you're just going to do it yourself.
I noticed a lot of people have computers that have Pro on it in Windows 10.
Right.
And if you had it, you'll get the Pro version
Correct.
of Windows 11. They might not even be aware of the fact that they have Pro.
Right.
And if they bought a computer that was, more or less designed for business,
Right.
it came with Pro.
Right. You won't notice, and honestly, from the feature side, you're not going to notice a difference as a home user. Like I said, the biggest is on the back end features.
Question regarding Microsoft Learning and that.
Yep.
Do you plan to have videos or classes that you can do via Teams or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Regarding Windows 11 so we can learn more about it?
Yeah, the biggest place to go is learn.microsoft.com, and I'll make sure I add that to our site as well, or the document as well. So that's the biggest place where a lot of free training, a lot of free classes that you can take, mini classes, and honestly, Microsoft uses learn.microsoft.com internally as well.
And the computer club is going to be running a class on Windows 11 starting January 14th is the first class. Todd, can you comment on the inclusion of Android apps in Windows 11?
Yes, I did have that on my agenda originally, then I took it out. So that is something that is available. I was going to try that actually today on mine. So you're able to install Android apps. It's basically installing an emulator onto your Windows 11 device. It's going to then allow you to utilize the the Amazon App Store to pull apps in and install from there. So if you have an Android device, you can run them directly on your Windows 11 device using the Android app. And I'll send a link on how to do that as well in the follow-up.
I'm currently on my Windows 10. I have malware protection, and I just got rid of Norton, so I won't need that on 11.
You don't need it on 10 either, to be honest. I mean, Windows Defender's on 10 as well. It's bumped up, I would say, in Windows 11 with some of the things that it can do, some of the more advanced features. But yeah, you don't need it anymore, and we're pretty much comparable with all the antivirus providers.
Today, with the Android, are you going to require a special computer on your, you have to have a 5 or higher Intel processor, 5 or 7?
I have to go look at the actual requirements for the Android itself. I'm not sure what I think if it's running Windows 11, it'll run.
Yes, hi. I recently bought a new laptop with Windows 11, and my Windows 7 computer passed on. So I had a lot of pictures in there, so I went on Facebook and uploaded or downloaded all the photos into my new computer, and instead of showing the little picture icons, I'm getting names, and it doesn't help me. How do I get the picture icons back on?
All right, hold on, let me show you right here. So when you're in your folders here, Windows Explorer, if you click from the view, if you change it from, it's probably on details or something like this now, change it to large or medium icons, and if there's a picture, it'll show what it is. If there's a file or PowerPoint, you'll see it's going to kind of show a preview as well. But change the view at the top from files to either one of the icons names is what you would do. Okay.
Maybe I missed this before, but if you have a Windows 10 PC with an eighth generation CPU in it, do you know how soon I'll be able to put in Windows 11?
So if it's compatible, you can do it right now. If you go to, on your device, the Windows Update, if you go in there, it'll show you if it's available. Or you can download the Windows Upgrade Assistant, which we'll send a link to.
Would you recommend doing it now or waiting?
So, I've heard a lot of people that say, let's wait for the first service pack. So Microsoft's vision for Windows 11 is they're only going to provide what they're calling a major update once a year. Windows 10 is twice a year, so they're going to just once a year update. So if you're going to wait, you're going to wait until October. So that's your choice on where you're going to go with that.
Right, and if you have a computer that has a lower CPU, like a 7th grade, and you do go ahead and put in Windows 11, what will you lose in features,
Nothing.
Nothing.
The only thing, eventually, some of the security things that Microsoft's planning, your CPU won't matter, but if you don't have the TPM 2.0 chip, some of the advanced scanning features might not work, or some of the advanced, like the offline malware, that might not work as well, but otherwise, all the features, they're going to be the same.
Thank you.
I did do that. I did it, the view thing, and it just came up with little squares. But I can open them, and it will be pictures, but it's just very inconvenient. I don't know what these numbers.
Okay, yeah, that's odd. I'm not real sure why that would happen.
Mine did the same thing, is just reboot the machine.
That's always the very good advice for Windows, even Windows 11, reboot it, and sometimes it magically works.
Other questions?
Yeah. Windows 11 downloads, is that a free download, or the update's free, or?
Yeah, so if you own Windows 7 or 10 actually, it is free. The updates are all free. All the future security updates are free as well. Windows 11 is supported for the next 7-8 years.
The only reason I ask that is because sometimes you get a pop-up and they want to charge some, and it's
Right, no, it's all included. The security's all included, so there's no additional charges.
Windows 10 was the last operating system that Microsoft was.
I have a
That's
laptop that I have gotten from my company that I work for that's got Windows 7 Enterprise. Am I able to upgrade to Windows 11?
I don't think there's a direct path. I believe your option for upgrade is to upgrade it to Windows 10 and then upgrade it to Windows 11, or just put Windows 11 on it directly. You basically have to wipe out the whole thing and put Windows 11 on it.
Is there a charge for that?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Mike's not on, but I can.
I bought a new laptop with Windows 11 on it, but I take my pictures with my iPhone, and of course it gets loaded up to the iCloud.
Right.
Is there a way for my Windows 11? The microphone is not.
Okay.
Well, anyway, is there a way for my Windows 11 to access the pictures on the iCloud?
On the iCloud, there used to be, and I'll have to look on Apple, there used to be an iCloud app that you could load on Windows. I'm not sure if it's there anymore. Microsoft's view is you sync your files to OneDrive and then they'll show up. So that's, it's the same thing as the iCloud, it's just, Microsoft's. But I'll look and see if there's a way to bring them in from iCloud onto Windows 11.
I think you can do it through the web.
You can go on the website and do it directly. You go into iCloud.com, log in, and they're all there. So I just didn't know if there's a direct way to kind of sync them.
Yeah, this is a little sidelight, but I want to know, is this on your chairs? Does anybody know that? Because they're really nice. I know I'm going to get some.
New chairs have not been ordered yet.
They've been ordered.
Yeah, they're not here, they've been ordered. Battery's dying in this microphone. Anybody else with a question?
We have in the lab, we have some, you can come in and answer, we can answer most of those questions you have on Windows 11. We're learning too, so we might not have the answer right away, but we'll figure it out.
All right?
Todd,
Yep.
is Teams global?
Yes.
Or is it different in Europe?
Nope, it's the same globally.
How many participants can you have in a team conversation?
On the free version, I
You
believe
might want to
it's,
repeat that.
he asked how many people can be on a Teams free version. I believe in the one group it's 100. On ours it's 10,000 on the paid version. So up to 20,000 if you really ask nicely. But I believe it's 100 on the free version.
Okay.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Todd. As Shelley mentioned, we will have a Windows 11 class next month. I think you said the 14th. So we'll have it there. And I think Ralph, were there not plans for a Zoom version of that class?
Not this time.
Okay. That means maybe in the future we'll do a Zoom. All right. Folks, that's all we have for today. Thank you for coming and have a good holiday.